What's cracking, everybody? First of all, thank you to all 30 followers that I have on my YouTube channel. I appreciate all y'all. Some of the comments are pretty dope. Really do appreciate that. For the rest of y'all, if you could, please pass this along and subscribe to the channel. Just help me out. I'm just trying to help people out, one person at a time, if I can. Maybe a million. I don't know. Anybody that you can pass this on to, please help me out. Like and subscribe to this video. Jump right to it. We're gonna talk about some things that I think that creators, early creators, should know and have, some product that they should have. So that's what we're gonna talk about. Let's get it. You are a creator like me. You are probably in front of the computer most of your day, just sitting in front of the computer, beep, boop, 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 beep, all that, just all day editing. You got your camera out, you got your phone, whatever it is. You just in front of the computer, you're doing some kind of work. If you are a beginning creator, that could be even more challenging because you don't know what to get, what pieces that you need, what product you should buy. It's adding up, the dollars ain't making sense, and some of the cents don't make your dollars. You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 things that I have over the last few years that I think are essential to helping your work process be a little bit smoother, more efficient, make it fun. You know what I mean? Just overall improve the experience for you as a creator. One of my favorite things that I have, and the first product I'm going to talk to you about, is the Logitech MX Master Series lineup of products. I think they are absolutely amazing. Let's take a look at it. And ooh-wee, it must be summertime because we got the top down. Yes, sir. I leveled up. But first, this is the mouse. This is the Logitech MX Master 3S mouse. And the reason why I like this thing is, first of all, it feels absolutely fantastic in the hand. If you have a Mac or any standard mouse, throw it away right now. That, first of all, I have a vendetta against the Apple Magic Mouse. That thing is just one of the worst mice I've ever, whatever. But if you have any other mouse, I guarantee you this thing right here, you're gonna replace it. First things first, we gotta talk about the comfort. Yeah, look at this comfort. This thing feels good in the hand. It's a large mouse. I have a larger hand, so it fits perfectly for me. But that doesn't mean that this is too large for a small hand, if that makes sense. I feel like this is a good mouse for everybody. Not only that, if you don't like this size, they have other ones also that can kind of fit whatever you need better. So that's the first thing about this mouse, is that it just feels fantastic. As I got like dog hair on, sorry. The second thing that I like about this mouse in particular are the programmable buttons. I'm telling you, this thing has all kind of buttons you can program on it. And first of all, they have, you can program pretty much, if you see a button on here, you can program it. And the buttons you don't see, you can also program them. What do I mean? First, let's talk about the buttons that you can't see. You got a button right here. You got the scroll wheel. You got the left and the right. You have the scroll wheel right here for your thumb. Then if you look closely right here, there is another button. You can see a little notch right there. Plus there's 2 buttons right here that you can program. Now, the ones you can't see are kind of where your thumb rests right here. These are actually gesture buttons. So when you have the mouse sitting down right here and you kind of click down, you can click and drag left, right, up, or down. And those give you different button functionalities for whatever you want to use. Which brings me to the third thing I like about this mouse. And that is the fact that you can program this mouse for whatever program that you want to use it for and change the buttons. So, for example, if you are using Photoshop, like me, I use Photoshop all the time. I have this mouse programmed different button mappings for the Lightroom application. It is amazing. And then if I use, which I do a lot, Final Cut, I have buttons programmed for Final Cut that make the thing so easy. And they switch between apps. So like if you click into the window of the app, it automatically knows which app you're using, and so which mapping to go with. Amazing. I mean, like that alone was like the reason why I want to keep this mouse. Not only does it feel good, but the fact that I can change and configure this mouse however I like it with whatever program. I mean, it's crazy. I personally don't know a program it doesn't work with, so if you know that or if you run across it, my bad. But for everything that I use, and for what most creators use, if you're a photographer, videographer, you can program this to whatever you like to. The fourth thing that I like about this mouse is that you can program this for 3 different computers through Bluetooth. What do I mean by that? If you flip it over, you can see here that it's got a 1, 2, 3. Right now, 3 is lit up because that's the computer I'm using. But you can press this button and it'll switch between 1, 2, or 3, depending on whichever computer you're using. So you can have 3 different computers programmed to this mouse. It gets better from there. Through Logitech's own proprietary software, you set this up, right? And that's how you program the buttons. With that, all through this mouse, say you have all 3 computers, which I do. I have my Apple Mac Studio, I have my Intel iMac, and then I have an M1 laptop, right? MacBook Air. I have all 3 programmed to this one mouse. Say if I had a file on one computer that I want to switch to the other computer, you can just drag and drop on the edge of the screen to whatever computer, even if you have a PC. So if you have a Mac and you have a PC, they can both work on this together, and you can drag and drop files between the computers all through Logitech software. Like, come on now. Like, how could you not get this? Now, here's a note for you. Here's a note. If you have all Mac, right, which I do, and you have universal control on, you want to make sure, I don't know, I turn my universal control off, because what happens is universal control will not switch over all of the functions, because, you know, universal control, if you have 2 computers, it'll automatically detect via Apple's proprietary software. So it'll throw off Logitech software where, you know, the apps might not be programmed because it didn't switch via the Logitech app, it switched via Apple. So me personally, I turn Apple's universal control off and not just go with Logitech, because it's much easier. It's essentially the same thing. Some things you can't do, but most of those things that you can't do, you don't do on a regular basis. So for me, it works perfect just having Logitech software. Really the only note. The other thing I told you is I like the keyboard. Now the keyboard, I have the full keyboard. They have about 4 or 5 different keyboards that you can use. And the reason why I like this keyboard is it's got the soft keys, kind of like the Apple Magic Keyboard or whatever they call that thing. It's kind of the same thing. You can see this comes in a space gray look, so it almost fits in perfectly with your Apple products. But the key here is you can also program this to 3 different computers as well. If you look here, you got a 1, 2, 3, so you can switch between whatever computer you want. Same thing like the mouse. It lights up and you can switch between them. Right now I'm using number 3, but also this row of buttons right here that you see are also all programmable, and you could change those to whatever you want. Now this is particularly the Mac computer keyboard, because you can see the buttons down here. If you got the Windows based keyboard, it's essentially the same thing. They kind of split the command button. It's Control Alt right there, so it kind of splits it. You can use it for Mac either way, but if you are a Mac user and you don't want to deal with what button is which and you just muscle memory, go ahead and get the one built for Mac. Same situation, same thing, whatever. The cool thing about this is that the buttons, even though you can program these to be whatever you like, these come already programmed to almost the way you like it. Like, I don't even have to change much on there. The one thing that I really like about this keyboard is that the button right here, which is the screenshot button, you press that, you take a screenshot of the computer screen instead of doing Apple's, you know, Shift Command 5 or whatever the process is to get a screenshot. It's just so convenient the way it is. So that's the first thing I like. The MX Master Series line by Logitech. I think every creator should use this. It will speed up workflow tremendously. The second thing that I recommend and that I absolutely love is something that I talked about already, is the Rode wireless go-to system of microphones. I love those things. I told you before how much I love it, but I feel like this is something that every creator should have. And the reason being is because if you are trying to get audio right the first time and not have to deal with it, these things do that with ease. Like, honestly, it makes it so easy. The fact that it can record to the device itself is something that is amazing. Now, let me grab it here real quick and I'll show you with the top down view. So, first of all, you got all three right here, right? You got the receiver and then the two transmitters, which is fantastic. I mean, like, honestly, to have two, so you can mic up one person and yourself. Interview style is so easy. If you're doing a podcast, you can grab a lav mic, stick it at the top of here, and just go. It's, you don't have to use them. It just, the convenience of it. But not just that, because I told you about the recording. It is the Rode Central app that makes these things fantastic. Now, the reason why I like it, yes, you can record to it, but when you go into that app and you use this, you'll see all your recordings right there. You can change the name of them. You can find them with ease. You might think, how the heck will I be able to know what I'm doing? It segments them off by days and then in order of time. You can actually, on the device, if you click the little Rode O or whatever that is, if you click that, that adds a marker to whatever project you're working on. So if you want to kind of keep track of where you are, you can click that. It adds a marker, so and it'll timestamp it on the computer for you through the app, so you know exactly where you're at. Also, you could program that button to do whatever you want to do. If you wanted to mute, if you wanted to mark, if you wanted to change the auto level, you can do so much within that app. It is incredible. And if you are using it to do a podcast, or if you're going direct from the unit itself to whatever program you're using, such as a podcast and distribution app, you can tune the audio and the file size to whatever you use. So I told you, I use Anchor for my podcast, and you can go right in there and tune it to Anchor specific so that it's kind of like configured to whatever you want it to be configured to. Now, the other thing you can do, and there's a bunch of other stuff, I'm jumping around. I'm just telling you some things that I like, what I think you, the viewer, if you're like me, might like. So that's where I'm coming from. The other thing that I like is if you use this piece, the receiver on board on the camera, and you have the audio going through there, you can actually tune this, tell this to tune to the camera style that you have. So if you are a Canon shooter, if you're a Sony shooter, if you're a Panasonic, so on and so forth, Fuji, you can do whatever you like. You can tell it that, hey, I'm using a Canon camera, so tune to the Canon audio preferences and settings, what might sound the best for me. Come on now, come on. That is fire. Like, that is, oh my goodness. If you are a new creator, I'm telling you, this is money well spent, because you don't want to spend all this money just to guess and test. You kind of want to get it right. You want to jump in. You want to jump in and be like everybody. Maybe not be like everybody, but you know what I'm saying. You trying to get in and not have to go through this runaround. This is my opinion. I think you should get this. It's fantastic. There's other ones out there that are like it, but for me, Rode is the way I'm going. Like, it's just easy. The third and final thing for now that I recommend is the Lumecube RGB Panel Pro. This thing is amazing. When I tell you I absolutely love this thing, I love it. Now, if you are a beginner again, you need lighting. Let me just tell you, lighting is going to change the game. And if you want an affordable light off the top, there's so many different ones you get, but this is portable as well as very bright and very functional. I love this thing. First of all, you get this huge panel right here. Huge panel. The lights, you can kind of see the RGB in them. It's fantastic. RGB, red, green, blue. This is fantastic. If you flip it over to the back, you get a nice color display right there. It shows you the brightness level. It shows you the temperature. You'll see the color, and I'll get to that in a second. So basically, it just changes the color. You can actually scroll down, tap down to the different color settings. You see that red is at 255 and green, blue, and kind of tweak your own color to whatever you want it to be. But that's not the best part about this. Let me tell you. You see here that it says scene. So if you wanted to, you can actually change the scene. And there's 4 different scenes that you can switch this to. And I'll show you right now. Let me grab my phone because you're probably like, why are you grabbing your phone? I'll show you. And warning here, there's some strobe and there's some flashing lights. I'll flash it against my shirt so you can kind of see it. I don't want anybody having any issues. So check it out. So let me show you what I mean. So first, if you switch this, you see it's on, it's very bright. But if you tap and you go down to scene, you get 4 different scenes. The first scene is siren. Now this is really cool, and I'm glad I'm doing this because this is actually better than my shirt. But you can see it flashes like a siren, red and blue. And if you switch it again, you go to fire. And what this is kind of like a fire mode, like a fireplace or something like that. Or if you want to create a fire for a different scene, you can kind of see how it flashes the red and the pink and the orange hues to kind of give you that look of a fire. If you switch it again, you get lightning. So like if you want to create a lightning scene outside, it's raining, you got audio going with it. This right here will give you like that lightning effect, and you kind of see how it pulses right there. Really cool. And last one is just a loop. So it'll loop around the different colors so that if you want transitions in the back, or if you just want ambience back there, kind of create whatever vibe you want, you can do that with this. This thing is absolutely amazing. I love it. It is literally one that just stays in my bag all the time. Let me turn that off here, sorry. But the other thing that I really like with this, of all that, the reason why I grabbed my phone is because you can control this with your phone. This thing is wireless, y'all. It's wireless. So imagine if you had this sitting back somewhere, if you're a solo creator like me, and you wanted to kind of do everything all at once, this allows you to do it. Let me grab my phone. I'm gonna show you what I mean. So I've been turning it on and off with my phone here. You can kind of see here that it's right now all off. And the reason why I say it's all off is because this app, the Lumecube light control app, if you have multiple Lumecube, I'm sorry, devices, you can actually control all of it through here. So I'm going to turn it on now, and you can kind of see the light came right on. Let me do it one more time. Off, on. There you go. Boom. It's got the battery percentage there. Now, the battery percentage really depends on the power that you're using. So it varies. I mean, you can get, if you have low power usage, you know, at a different lumen, the battery level kind of changes. So right now, it looks like your boy is dead, but I got some life left in me. You control the brightness here. So instead of using the brightness on there, on the device screen there, you can do it through the app. You can change the color, temperature, warmer, colder. You can even play around with the colors. So you can switch right here. You see I'm changing the colors there. That little dial right there, it's really cool. You can even, if you want to, you got favorite colors. Boom, red, green, blue, yellow. You can change those right there. Strobe on and off. I won't do that to you again. But then you see you have the other different functions right down here. Fire alarm siren, the fire mode, lightning mode, and then the loop for audio. You can do all that directly from the app. Absolutely amazing. Also, onboard camera is fantastic with this. If you need some lighting for pictures or anything you're doing and you're trying to stay on budget, perfect for you. So go ahead, get that Lumecube. That's it right now. That's it for now. And I say not right now because there's more that I could definitely talk about. I just want to kind of keep it short and sweet. If you have any questions or anything that you might say, hey, look, what do you recommend for this? Let me know. If I don't have it, I'll get it. But most likely, I probably got something, an affordable version for you as an early beginner. But I'll have everything linked in the bottom right here where you can go and grab those different pieces if you like so. And you can kind of create to your heart's desire. And now, some good vibes for you. I'm going to tell you like I always tell you. If nobody told you, I'm going to tell you I love you. We in March right now. I hope that your year is off to a strong start. Whatever you got going on in February, leave it in the past. Whatever you got in front of you, pay attention to that. Strive for the best. Be the best. Be great. I love you to death. Until next time, peace.